Yeah. So the 2026 general election primary was today. I just voted, and I don't know who any of these candidates are. I'm gonna show a screenshot of that, a picture of it. This is the ballot. This is what it looks like. I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know where to even look up their information because if I try to Google these people specifically, and you either can't find it. It's either you go on a Ballotopedia or the Chicago Tribune or other like website articles. They don't tell you specifics. They don't tell you what these people believe. That and you have to have like a paid subscription for some of these services, and there's tons of ads, and nothing is clear. And I know I'm not alone in this. I know I'm not alone in this. Most people in America don't vote because it's so complicated and convoluted and unclear, and most Americans think voting is pointless. How I know that is because they don't vote, so they must think it's pointless. That kind of emboldens me to make this video and just kind of tell you how I voted. I didn't know like where to look stuff up, so I actually asked Chat GPT. I typed in the candidates' names and I asked, this is one of the candidates, what are Shebek's beliefs on God, the Second Amendment, and abortion? And I also added in immigration. So I asked ChatGPT what each Senate Senate candidate what their beliefs were on God, the Second Amendment, abortion, and immigration. And ChatGPT just told me, and so uh, I, I that's pretty much all I did. I asked ChatGPT because I like ChatGPT and I use it for a lot of things. I'm kind of afraid that I guess there's really nothing to be afraid of. If I wanted to know something, I would just Google it. Um, And the problem with that is Google's extremely biased. So the fear is, well, if I just start using ChatGPT to figure out who to vote for, ChatGPT could eventually be very biased. The problem with that is I just think it's inevitable. So there's really nothing to worry about because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's no way to stop that. So once I asked ChatGPT about everyone's views, I asked ChatGPT, what are Jimmy Lee Tillman's the second's beliefs on God, the Second Amendment, abortion, and immigration? And ChatGPT told me that Jimmy Lee Tillman the second uh, is the most conservative. It says he describes himself as an Old Testament Christian. I don't know what that means. That seems like a really weird thing to say. That's like I don't even know what that means. Because there's an Old Testament and a New Testament, so it's like what I don't know. But um so basically I asked ChatGPT about each political candidate and it told me, and the guy I ended up voting for was this uh Jimmy Lee Tillman guy for Senate. And part of me is like, is this right? Is this wrong? I don't want this to be the way I vote, but I don't know any better. Public school doesn't teach us how to vote. My parents don't vote. So, where do you learn how to vote and who to vote for? Well, I'm a real life person and I just use ChatGPT to look up each of the candidates and something that's important to me, which is there's this candidate's stance on God, the Second Amendment, abortion, and immigration. Though that's really important, so I just looked that up and asked ChatGPT, and then I had ChatGPT rank them, and it told me that Jimmy. It told me Jimmy Tillman was the best. There was also ChatGPT couldn't even find this Jenny Evans. I guess that's not like she was on the ballot, but the ChatGPT couldn't even find her. Yes, ChatGPT asked if you. It says if you want, I can now rank all the Republican candidates you asked about from most conservative to most moderate. I said please do, and it did. Number one, Jimmy Tillman, so I voted for him, and then number two was Jean Ives, but she wasn't even on the ballot. She wasn't on the ballot. Uh, Jenny Evans was on the ballot, but not Jean Ives. And ChatGPT couldn't even like find Jenny Evans, even though she was the one on the ballot. So, kind of very odd, very interesting. But I did end up voting for Jimmy Lee Tillman because of ChatGPT. And like part of me is like afraid to say that because I think that sounds bad, but at the same time it's like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to learn about what the candidates believe and where? Because I don't trust Google, I don't trust websites, I don't trust articles. I don't know. I've asked people and no one can seem to give me a clear answer, so I just chat GPT'd it. And I like the results. If this Jimmy, I don't know him, but ChatGPT says he's the most conservative on these issues. He's explicitly Christian. He's pro-gun. He's against abortion, and he's strongly on immigration. So I just went for that. The only other thing I want to say is there are some candidates, some politicians, some people who don't engage in the culture war, and they just try to focus on things like the economy and stuff like that. And I'm just going to tell you, I just think that means you're a coward. That's all that sounds like to me. If you're someone who's focusing on the economy and issues like that, but you're not focusing on the culture war, I feel like you're just a coward. Jesus Christ, who is God Almighty and creator of heaven and earth, he told Christians not to fight against flesh and blood. He told us to focus on the culture war. He told us our battle is between spirituality and, what was it? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against customs and principalities and forces of darkness and high places. Yeah, so Jesus Christ told us to focus on the culture war. And so if you're like someone who's not focusing on that, I just think you're a coward. The war is the culture war. We're not going to get taken over by Russia. We're not going to get taken over by Russia or China. We're not going to be taken over by communists or some other foreign country. If America ever falls, it's going to be from the inside out. So this makes the culture war the war. If we lose the culture war, we lose our country. That's like, I 100% believe that. And so any politician who is not focusing on the culture war, I don't think you're worth my time. I don't think you're worth anyone's time. I feel like you should step aside and let people who are focusing on the culture to fix that. Because, if we have a good economy, but then we all sacrifice our babies to Moloch, I feel like we don't have a good country. And we're not in a good position. Because God will just destroy us anyway. So, if you can fix the road, but then God's just going to rain fire from heaven down upon us because we kill babies, I don't think it's important that the roads are fixed. And that's like an extreme example. I don't think these people who are not in the culture war, I don't think they're actually fixing the roads anyway. But even if they were, I still think God is more important. And doing what God says is more important. So basically, yeah, I wanted to make this video. Hopefully, I'm kind of embarrassed, but maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know. I did vote. Today's voting day, so I want to make this video quick so perhaps, hypothetically, someone could watch the video and be like, oh my gosh, I want to go vote. And then they go vote. So that's that. So, this is what one of the things Christian pastors should be telling their congregation is how to vote and who to vote for, because it's important. If this video was helpful to you, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.